What's your life goal, and have you achieved it?
Yeah, I married you.
Aw, gross.
You really need to go out there and make sure the whole world hates you. Oh, perfect.
My butthole is all over the internet.
A fine wine. She keeps me in the basement and pulls me out when she needs me.
If I drink Sambuca, he's getting it.
I bought a case.
Can tell a lot about a person by the way their tits, pussy, or dick looks.
You come near my cheeks and it's not going to be a good day for you, homie. This is going to be special.
Welcome to the Two Onions podcast with Dani Daniels and Vic. What's up, guys? I'm Dani Daniels. In the corner is my husband, Vic. We are, in fact, married. I don't live in Ghana.
We were just discussing this off air.
What an intro. Yeah.
Yeah, and Rick is here from Subway Creatures, and it's so funny because
And what is New York?
And what is New York? I was going to get there, Vic.
Hey, I got to jump in.
I'm in
You
the middle
intro.
of this pull fight.
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
It's
Yes,
going
good.
down. But yeah, so we met. We've been friends for a few years now, and it's funny because I always bring up Subway Creatures and what is New York, and everyone's like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Oh, okay, here we go." So this is the guy.
This is
This
the
is the
man.
guy.
We brought the guy.
The man behind the legendary
Curtain's kind of
accounts.
being pulled back a little bit.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for having me. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm
Thanks for
happy
coming
you're
on.
here.
We actually when you had a podcast that I know you're gonna restart soon. We were on a couple of episodes.
Yeah,
so we
and
had
you know
a good
what?
time.
I
We
was
had
going to
such a good
throw in
time.
there, never a dull moment when you guys were in the studio.
Which, by the way, like Vic wasn't on. Like I dragged him.
Yeah, Vic wasn't initially a guest.
Until
and
I got,
he
like, pulled in.
wound up
Yeah.
becoming a guest on the
like-
show, and thank God, because one of the co-hosts, Freddie B,
Yes.
we taught him a
Hi,
lot.
Freddie, if
We
you're
taught- yeah,
We
listening.
taught him a lot
Freddie
while
got-
he was
yeah.
on the show. He did not know what Doc
I
was.
was like
That
the
poor
Pacino
baby.
in Godfather 3. They were dragging me in.
It was to watch his face with you explaining
God.
Oh yeah.
sexual acts
Oh, it was my
and
favorite.
what you know.
Why he hasn't looked at his own asshole.
Oh, my-
Freddie, I hope you've looked at your
Oh,
asshole at least at this
yeah.
You know what? We'll have to tag him in this
We
and
should.
find out.
We should.
He's just gonna be so happy that he was even brought up on this. He's gonna be so excited about that. But yeah, we never had a dull moment. And let me tell you a funny story that I don't think I ever got to tell you. When you came, you also brought me a bottle of your barbecue sauce.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was also, I think, a spice that you were making.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
spice rub,
barbecue
yeah.
sauce is wet and sloppy, and
The
the
names are
rub
the best
is
part.
rub and tug. Yeah.
The best part. So I bring that home, and at the time I was living with my girlfriend, and I put it. I didn't
Oh,
tell
no.
her that I brought it home, but I just put it, in like the pantry. And I remember hearing from the other room, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, I thought maybe there's like a mouse or something in the kitchen. So I go in there, and she's holding your bottle with you in was it like a maid's?
No,
dress?
I'm in like a
An apron?
like a
That's a-
grilling apron,
It says-
and that's it.
It says "Kiss the Chef" with the arrow pointing down.
Yeah. And so she had known that we did the show, but she didn't put it all together.
Yeah.
And I don't think she knew it was you on the label. But I remember that.
It's like,
I
what's
was
this
like, oh.
weird ass lube you bought and stuck in the pantry?
Smells smoky.
No, but it was all right. For the people listening, it was amazing. I don't know if they've tried it or
Thank
not.
you.
It was very good.
Yeah, that's
Put that
that's
shit on
super
everything.
proud
I
of
know
that.
that's someone else's motto, but I put that shit on everything. I swear to God.
we were really proud of that because a portion of the sales of it still goes towards homeless vets.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that
Yeah.
part, and that's
Yeah.
just a bonus that you
Yeah.
get with buying it. It sounds
Yeah.
like
It was just like this opportunity to do it, and then I was like, yeah, I want to do it, but I want the sauce and the rub to be good. And not just like crap in a
Right,
of
of
with a cool
course.
name. And I wanted to have a cool name. So we were just like up drinking all night.
So what are you guys
Came up with it.
putting together all these
No,
different
so
recipes for it?
this is a funny story because we were talking about Ghana. This actually started because of a Ghana scam.
Oh yeah.
Swear to God, this actually started because of a Ghana scam. We troll through and try and find the people who are getting scammed. So I will message them and say, hey, dude, you got a situation.
Well, we were doing it more at the time. Now I'm just fucking over it.
I still look.
Now if you're getting scammed, fuck you.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I still,
he's
I,
more-
I
he's
honestly,
nicer than
I
I
still
am.
look, and it's not even nicer. It's just 90% of these guys, it's sad and it's over and done with.
That
But
is
10% can get dangerous.
Hey.
10% can,
Yeah, that
we've
is
had,
true. That is
people
true.
camped out at our house and stuff like that. So what happened was there was this guy in there, and he was like, "Hey, I'm looking forward to getting the sauce in all of these sex shops." I was like, what?
What? Yeah, what?
Hey, hon, do you have,
Yeah, you got something going on the side?
So I knew
Sauce.
exactly what was going. So I messaged the guy, and he goes, "Oh man," he goes, "Yeah," he goes, "They wanted me to give him some money, and he had this project. He already had the bottling, he had sauce, he had this stuff, and he wanted to create something and, you know, help out vets. And he was like, oh, great, I'll hook up with Danny Daniels. This will be all right. Well, it was a scammer that was scamming him. Luckily, we got in before that happened. And I said, hey, send me the sauce.
Yeah.
So he sent the sauce, and it was awesome. Like you said, it was awesome. You know, she made little changes to it, minor, and we slapped the label on it. And then the spice rub was actually a recipe that I've used for years. And I'm like, can we do this too? And he was like, yeah, he had all the stuff. So we work with him, and now that's how it wound up happening. We sell it, and we give a piece to, you know, disabled American vets. And that was the whole thing. But it started with a gun scam, but it was lucky we caught it beforehand because God only knows what they would have taken. And this guy is not. He's a great guy. Jerry, I hope you're watching this. He's a great guy. He's been really nice. And, you know, he knew he was feeling that there was something a little bit wrong. And that's why he contacted her verified Instagram with the blue check. And but it wound up working out well. It wound up, you know, so that was
this
one
was
happy
Disney
ending. It was like amongst a lot of I sent you $248 in iTunes. You're gonna marry me.
So I guess that's the thing because you know because we follow each other not only on you know the Subway Creatures and What Is New York accounts, but also our
like
personal
real life,
accounts, like real life friends,
like real life friends.
And because of that, I have a knockoff Danny Daniels account that follows me at least once a day. You know, you block it, you report it as spam.
Exactly.
But there's always one the next day.
Oh,
and it, you know, I don't mind because all it is just a click away of like getting rid of it.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious. So is that what's happening to these guys?
Yeah.
And they're now then asking these guys for money? And
And it's not only me, it's most adult performers.
Most adult performers because they can fake an intimacy by sending nude photos, which you can find 300,000 of them online, right?
And
what angle you need?
Oh my God, somebody. But
What outfit?
some of these guys have the worst Photoshop. What was the one your head
Oh my
was?
God.
Oh
Okay,
my
so
God,
the
this
other
was like
day-
just recently.
It's funny, like Cherie DeVille's come up like in the last few episodes, but I was
love
hanging
her.
out with Cherie DeVille. We were having coffee. She was coming and staying for a few days, and I'm pulling on my emails, and some fucking dude photoshopped my face on a man in a hospital with a cast. On a fucking man. I was so
I mean, it was
offended.
obvious. Man hands. I mean, unless it was a
I
Seinfeld
know
man
it,
hands
but I
moment,
know
but this
I
was
have
like
man hands.
hairy.
Like, you could just use my own man hands. Like, you don't need to Photoshop them.
So yeah. So I mean, we see
Wow.
this
And
shit
it was like, is
happen
this you? And I'm
all the
like,
time.
that's a dude. Like,
Dude,
Yeah.
and I mean, all of a sudden, I don't know why, all of a sudden Instagram has been taking him down as we're reporting him. But we went months and months and months just reporting every day, 30, 40 accounts, and they were
that
just
doesn't
staying
surprise
there.
me at all. Yeah.
If you
I'm
literally,
surprised-
it's like
I'm
you-
surprised you don't have fake accounts.
I did well that's part of what helped me get verified was that all of a sudden there was Subway Creatures Berlin,
Yeah.
Subway Creatures Mexico, like, and they started sprouting up. And not only that, maybe you know this because maybe they do the same thing with you. So when one of these accounts does pop up, what they do is they follow every person
Yes.
that I follow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that way, those people, which is majority friends and family, or like other accounts relevant to mine, or people that I've worked with, they see the name Subway Creatures and they think that I started some offshoot account. And
Yeah.
so they want to help
They wanna
support
help
me.
support
So
the
then they follow them back,
Mm-hmm.
and then they message me like, "Hey, you know, did you start like a Subway Creatures California?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "But I saw that. Do not follow it." And then you know I have to put something up saying this isn't me, which you don't even want to do anyway because
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't want to give them any publicity
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
But you also want your friends and family to know that it's not you. So that definitely helped a lot. You know, and it sounds very similar. You
Yeah.
know, it's very easy these days to knock off these accounts.
Yeah.
And
You
like
add
you
like
said-
one letter or you know,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
this is my private account. This is
Danny,
my,
Danny,
you know.
aka Danny Daniels, this, with an
Yeah.
extra S or a Z, or it's like,
Yeah.
or my personal favorite is if you haven't figured out yet that if it's Danny Daniels 97864,
Yeah.
it's fake. Danny
Like-
Daniels, any fucking number after it,
I
it's
know.
fake.
Yeah.
I
It's
get the same thing with the emails. You know,
Yeah.
they'll-
Oh, yeah.
it'll say Instagram, but then if you
Oh, yeah,
actually
yeah,
click
yeah.
on the name, it's like some like you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
said, you know, James 69451 at Verizon, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, that's not Instagram.
I mean,
obviously.
you know, in a bizarre way, these guys are geniuses. They have these bots that are just churning out
Exactly,
these things, and
yeah.
they're adding numbers at the end.
Right.
And people are. And the sad part is there are people who fall for it.
Yeah.
I know.
And we do this.
curious, like-
I have a whole chapter in my book.
Yeah.
On Ghana.
Look at
Literally
that
an entire
shameless
chapter.
plug.
I will
Just
give you a
Ghana
copy. It's
alone.
literally a
Shameless.
chapter of the bullshit
But
from Ghana.
I don't understand. Like, I get why they do it with us, because like titties and ass. But like for you, I don't know what are they trying to just like gain followers
Or maybe get sponsors.
Well, I know
It's
at
such
least
a weird.
I know at least for the emails, what they're looking for is they want you to click. There's a link somewhere in that email
Yeah.
where if you click
They get
and
into
you don't
your-
know, you're going to end up giving your login information out to
They'll
them.
Trojan
Yeah.
horse
So
you.
then
and
all of a
wind up,
sudden they can get into your account. I know that one. But as far as, the knockoff names, I think it literally is trying to just take someone's name
just run
and
with
try
it.
to run with it and see how far you can get. Because if you get a good number of legitimate followers that are organic and not these bots, I mean, those accounts can be worth a lot of money.
Yes,
They can.
true.
They'll change the name on it
That's
all of a
what
sudden.
I was
That's
gonna
all
say.
they
sell
do.
it.
just
They
change
just
the
change the
name.
name
And sell it.
Yeah,
And they'll sell
exactly.
the account.
Wow.
And I mean, you also have, it's like you said, it's all titties and ass and stuff, but you got a lot of military guys who are having accounts faked because of
Yeah.
they're taking their pictures and photos saying, oh my God, I'm overseas, and they're getting girls to send the money. And I mean, it's a scam. I know Johnny Sin's a perfect example. He's had his account taken down. He doesn't have an account, and we helped him try and get an account back. He had a girl who was going to meet him.
Oh yeah, this
Oh.
is scary.
This
That
is
is
scary
always
shit.
scary.
I mean, this is like a
Yeah.
girl was going to meet Johnny Sins, thinking that she was going to hook up with Johnny. God only knows what the hell she was
Dude,
walking
that's
into.
nightmare
Luckily,
fuel.
again, Johnny somehow caught and figured it out, and then they took his account down. And he still doesn't have an account on Instagram. The guy was running a PG account at best. It was talking
It's
about
just like him
workout
swimming.
videos
Yeah.
and swimming. And
Fucking-
I mean, the worst he did was take his shirt off, which no one can. And they
And
kept-
was it directly related to that incident that they took his account
No,
down
they took his
for, or-
account down. They just kept taking it. What happens is these guys get smart and they report you and
Yeah.
report you and
That's
report
like-
you and report you until you're pulled down. And if you're not a verified account,
Yeah.
you're going to get pulled down. So if you're a
Exactly.
verified
The
account, you're a little
verified thing-
protected.
Well, that's the
People
thing.
are a little
Like, I just had
protected.
my Snapchat deleted, and so like
I thought Snapchat, there's no rules. I thought everything
No, there's
goes.
like
No, there's, like,
brutal
so many rules now.
Twitter,
It's like a nightmare.
Twitter's no rules. Twitter's the
Oh my
Twitter's
God.
the
Twitter's
Wild
a
West.
wild fucking west.
I love
Like,
Twitter.
good luck.
Yeah, you know, no-
you open up Twitter at an
Again-
airport, you don't know what the fuck.
Again,
you're gonna
because we follow each other,
Yeah.
I'll be on the train scrolling, bam, Daily Bush. I'm like, oh shit, and you're like, did anyone see that pop up on my Twitter feed? Like, no, we're friends, we're
get.
supporting
It's
each
cool,
other.
I swear.
Yeah, I swear.
I know her husband. It's all good. He's cool with this. It's fine.
Exactly.
But that's the thing. Like, they'll report my Snapchat. It just got deleted. My new one is sucking 1D. If you want to follow it, but they'll make a new account and then message a bunch of people and go, "Oh, this is my new account."
And they'll get them to
Pretending
pay
to be
money.
me.
And they'll get them to say, "Give me $10 and I'll do whatever." And they can find
Wow.
photos, you can find
Yeah.
shit. It's so
Yeah.
I mean, but this is this is the easier version of the old days mailing scams.
I was just gonna
and,
say,
it's like
the
scams been going on
prints,
forever.
the prints,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
overseas prints,
Yeah.
and
Good faith money.
yeah.
I mean, this shit, like there was a literally an old time scam where people were selling the Brooklyn Bridge to folks.
Are you
I mean,
kidding?
we're talking about like the 1800s. They were like, "Hey, I'll sell you the Brooklyn Bridge." I mean, it became a joke.
Is that where that came from?
Yeah, it became a joke. Oh, I got a bridge to sell you. It was because people sold the Brooklyn Bridge about 5,000 times and made a fortune off of it. P.T. Barnum was right. A sucker's born every day, man. It's just
I know, and they're out
absolute
there.
truth.
It's funny because it's always, kind of in the past, always been, older people
Yeah.
who, were the targets. Now it's actually, kind of younger people
Yeah.
who are just more, internet savvy who just get suckered.
Or just because our culture now is so used to like fast moving. So you like what you were saying, you get an email, you don't look where the email's from. You're like, oh, Instagram emailed me. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get verified, and you put in your password, and
Yep.
you get screwed.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
You
even,
just
I mean,
don't
I've- happens
think
all
for
the time.
2 seconds.
All the time.
We had a family member got a phone call from the bank, and the bank's like, "Oh, just give me your username and login, and I'll fix things." I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
They
Do
were
not.
ready to do it because they didn't know. Like,
Oh.
no, that's not how this works.
Or Tinder,
Yeah.
there's a Tinder scam too.
Or there's the grandparent scam. Oh, we have your grandchild. Send me $1,000. I mean, there's so many of these scams.
Don't pick on.
It's hard.
Don't scam old people.
But that's unfortunately,
Yeah.
especially in the internet age, they're the most vulnerable because they're not tech
Yeah.
savvy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and
It's
also
like,
there's the authority side. I had a family member. I'm not gonna call them out specifically, but they got a quote unquote call from the IRS.
Oh yeah.
saying there was a bench warrant out for their arrest because he didn't respond to
Whatever.
they sent him, and then he calls me and he's like, "Hey man, like there's a bench warrant out. The IRS is after me." I'm like, Dude, there is a reason the IRS says they will never, ever call you. They will only send you mail to your address. Certified mail because of this reason alone.
Yeah.
Because people are doing it, and it's tax season.
Yep.
And,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly what they're trying
And I
to
mean,
do.
you want to talk about the 3 scariest letters on the planet. It's not CIA, it's not FBI, it's IRS.
Yeah.
The
Oh, my
IRS, well,
Lord.
holy fuck, the world's coming to it. I mean, they
Yeah.
are the scariest group of human beings
I will
on the
agree
planet.
with you on that one.
You know, and my other famous one is I get a phone call from the Social Security Administration.
That's another
It's
one.
a man with a horrible Indian accent. I can hear 35 other people in the background. They're
Yeah.
obviously in a boiler room somewhere, and they're like, "What's your Social Security number?" I'm like, "Well, don't you know?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're calling me.
You're
You
calling
got all
me?"
that right.
But you know, it's somebody just.
You know, there's a couple of really funny videos.
If your
on,
guard
like,
is down.
Yeah, well, that.
Guard
yeah.
is down, you're
Yeah.
fucked.
But then it's really funny when the people actually, like, it sounds like you, like, pick up on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
those
But
are
then
my
they play
favorite.
with them,
Yes.
and then they record everything, so that way we
Yes.
all get to experience it.
Yeah.
And listening to some of those videos and those phone calls are hilarious.
I've done a few things where we've had
So
friends
you
of
should
ours,
just- Go ahead, sorry,
adult
okay,
film
go.
star friends of ours, who I get messages from them.
Okay,
And I'll be
yeah.
like texting them going, "Oh, I'm going to have fun with this one." You know,
Yeah.
like I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I always knew you liked me." Like I'll go back and forth with them. They're like, "Just send me $500." And then I'll give them fake Western Union numbers. "Oh, you transpros." I'll just keep sending them to Western Union until I'm like, "Asshole.
Yeah.
You obviously
Yeah.
did it to you." My personal favorite is I'll get messages from her.
Wait,
Danny
yeah.
Daniels
From-
42.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" "I don't know. You're sitting across from me. Why are you asking me on this?" You fucking more. But so
Yeah.
the
You should
internet's the
start-
Wild West.
So you have Subway Creatures and you have What is New York. You should start IRS scams.
or,
Yeah.
Do a new one.
or just bullshit scams. You know? I'd be
Yeah,
like,
I
"Oh
mean,
my
listen, we
God."
just filled half of the show with
Yeah.
examples of it,
Oh,
so
it's-
it's not like we won't have content.
Oh
I have one of my all-time favorite quotes from Mark Twain is, "It is easier to fool somebody than convince them they've been fooled." It is so much easier to get somebody to give you money than I'm literally texting people and like messaging them going, "I don't know why I'm wasting my time. I'm telling you not to send
Yeah.
money."
Yeah.
Who do you think is telling you the truth? The
Right.
one
This
who's
is-
saying,
Vic,
you
you're
know?
making this another Ghana fucking episode.
I like the Ghana
God.
episodes. It's a good one.
It is.
No,
Well,
I want to talk about the MTA and pizza boxes. I don't
Pizza
want
boxes.
to talk
Oh yeah,
about
let's
it.
talk
Pizza
about
boxes.
let's talk about the pizza box. That was a cool
Oh,
one. Yeah.
the one that happened this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, the MTA guy picking up the pizza. Now, here's the thing, you know,
He's a hero.
they always
No,
talk
but
about.
did he eat it?
Well, that's the thing. Everyone wants to know what happened before the video started because the video picks up and right in the middle of this MTA employee picking up a perfectly fine pizza. And it's kind of like half in the box, half
Yeah.
out of the box already, and he's putting it in there. And you know, then he he's making comments as he's doing it. He's like, "Oh God damn it! It was such a perfect pie." And then he gets up.
Yeah.
He actually offers the pie to some woman walking by. You know, he definitely's got a great personality
Yeah.
about it. But I want to know, and
Yeah.
that's what I was using my podcast for when it originally was up. Was what's the before or after stories of these videos? You know, and everyone wanted to know that one today because you
Yeah,
know.
because did you get that submitted and it was just like cut like that and you're like,
It
all right, well
was.
that's all I got.
It
You're
was,
like-
and you know, that's one of the things I try to do with the account is I try to, from the sources, I'm like, not only if you have the original clip, because a lot of people, you know, nowadays they'll put stuff on Instagram and or their stories, and they'll put graphics and
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
gifs all over
Yeah.
them, and I'm like, hey, can you send that without all that shit all over
Yeah.
it? But on top of it, I'm like, is there any before or after? And they're like, well, you know, don't you think I would have put that up there too? And I'm like, I don't know. I just gotta
Yeah, you
ask.
gotta
know?
ask.
Yeah, you gotta ask.
There's, you know, if you put it on the
Fuck,
story,
man.
there's only 15
See,
seconds. that
yeah.
You, can work
You know
with.
what? This is like porn. I mean, you always want to
What?
know what happened afterwards. Did the pizza get cold?
Did they get a divorce?
I
Did
don't
they
wanna-
get a
yeah.
divorce? Did the pool ever get cleaned? Did the car wash happen? I mean, that's what it's like. You get to the end, you're like, come on.
I can tell
give
you
me the downs-
exactly what happens.
They
we
get
get
paid.
a paycheck and we go home.
Yeah.
You're
You know,
we mop up the fucking cum and
Some-
we dip.
Some poor,
And
some
we
poor
try to
ba-
beat the traffic.
Some poor jizz mopper comes in and you guys dip. I get it. It's
so on my way here, I literally was scrolling through Twitter and I found a story of a porn star named Ellie Eilish,
hmm
and she just got caught. One of her videos just went on Pornhub, and they were able to ID where it was, and it was actually in a library. And
I think I read something.
she's in some hot water.
Oh yeah, in
Because
LA.
there were like kids,
Yeah.
like there was somehow like you could see kids in the background.
No, it was an
It was
actual.
it was in
fucking-
California,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was an like a open
I mean,
library.
she'll wind up
Yeah.
becoming a sex offender.
Yeah,
because
you
it was
will.
that's like that's like if if you're drunk on the side of the street and you piss and a little kid walks by, you can become a sex offender.
Well,
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
Well,
fucked up.
that's how Kendra got her start. Is that she was Kendra I always fuck it up.
Sutherland.
I can't say your goddamn
Wait,
name,
wait,
Kendra, but
Kendra.
I love you.
Kendra.
Yeah, Kendra. Okay, Kendra. She's like Cher now.
Yeah.
She got her start. She was in college and she was live camming in the library and got caught. And I think she got kicked out of school. And that's how she
Oh.
got her start. I want to have her
And
on.
she's probably
and I want her
making
to
more
tell a
money than
story,
whatever
but-
she graduated
No,
with
but
degree with.
but that's the difference.
Yeah.
So the new girl,
Right.
Ellie
Yeah, it was the
Illish.
kids, yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference. It's like I'm not saying what Kendra did is the right thing to do because it's probably not the best route, but you're now a sex offender.
Yeah, but it's different. There's a
You
difference
know,
between a college library
yeah,
where everybody's
both
of
are
age
wrong, but one is
and 8-year-olds reading the latest Barney
Right.
book. you know?
Exactly.
You know, and
Exactly.
you know what's also funny, and it's a testament to the time that we're living in. The people who, and I don't know how, I haven't seen this video. Trust me, I took a screenshot of the story because I got to remember to go back
Yeah.
and see it. But have you seen that documentary? Don't Fuck with Cats.
No.
All right, so it's you're looking at me like that. I'm telling you, this is the most fucked up documentary you will ever watch.
I mean, I wouldn't have fucked with a cat, but I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's without giving anything away, it's this guy who makes these videos of him torturing like kittens.
Oh man.
Oh.
But
Somebody
what
should torture
happens?
him.
What happens is that the internet and the cat people out there,
Mhm.
they take the video and they break that video down to
They like
everything
Scooby Doo the
to
shit.
find this
Oh
guy.
my
to find this
god,
guy.
that is
for them.
amazing.
And that is like the time we live in. Now, like,
hell yeah!
people,
Show up at the guy's door with a fucking baseball bat. That's
yeah,
what
these
He's
people
not
aren't-
doing to him what he did to the
they're
cat.
not watching the porn. They're just breaking these videos down to see
Yeah.
where is this happening, where is
Oh.
this house, and that
you got to be careful.
definitely go
No,
watch
we-
that documentary. But that whole documentary is about the
Yeah.
people who
Good. Fuck
do
that
these,
guy.
break these videos down.
We actually we
are-
do that too. We're actually careful about when we post things, where
Mhm.
we are,
Yeah.
especially if there's any family around. A lot of times we won't post things until a couple of days afterwards because we've had situations where we walked
I'm
out the door
sure.
and there's somebody there with a photo, and it's like
I'm
that's not
sure,
a
yeah.
problem, but you always worry
Yeah,
about.
that happened. We were in Madrid. Madrid? Yeah. We showed up to the hotel. I did like a video on my Instagram, like, look at this room. It's cool. It's
The room.
I like blue. Blue's my favorite color. We go downstairs and have a drink. And I'm talking about like 15 minutes go by. And this guy like is we're sitting there, like I think you had like work to do for a
Yeah, I
second
was-
or
I had
something.
his,
So like I was
emails
just
or
like
shit to answer.
having a glass of wine and like on my phone. I look out the window, there's like this dude standing there staring at me.
Oh my God, he
And
identified
but I'm like,
hotel?
I'm a fucking idiot. So I go, oh, drunk guy. Okay, whatever. And so like 10 minutes go by, he's still there. 15 minutes go
It's
by, he's
raining.
still there. Oh yeah. I
Oh, he's
forgot.
standing in
It's
the rain.
Raining.
Does he have an umbrella? Or
No,
anything?
No, he's just standing
Oh,
there.
standing in the rain.
Not
So
that
I
it would
was
make
like-
that much of a difference, but
Yeah.
still.
The last thing I'm thinking is like porn fan. I'm thinking like
Weird
creepy dude that's like I'm
And
a
she's sitting in
woman.
the
I'm
window.
freaked out.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like quietly, I'm like, Pick, can you trade me spots? And he's like, why? I'm like, there's this creepy dude that's been in the window now for like half an hour. And I'm like, but don't make it weird. Just like trade me spots. So he
Don't
sits-
make it weird.
really a bad thing to say
You're
to.
just swapping seats, but don't make
Yeah.
it weird.
It's really
so
bad
he
thing to
sits
say to me.
down
Yeah.
and he literally turns his head and he goes, rink, and just stares at him out the window and gives him
Vic
this
is
like,
that guy. You're like, don't look now, and he
oh,
looks
he's the
and
worst.
points.
He's
Yeah,
the
oh, yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
worst.
Well, don't say it then. So she's like, so now I'm just like
Sit there
staring.
uncomfortably.
Yeah,
I'm staring the
Yeah.
guy down. I'm like doing the stare down at the guy, and the guy opens up this brown freaking manila,
Which I did
envelope.
not see before.
He opens it up, and it's a photo of her.
Oh,
And I'm like,
no.
I
and
look
I'm
and I'm
like,
like-
dude. And so I get up and I go outside of the hotel and like that he was with me. It was like a safe situation. I'm like, why the fuck didn't you say anything?
Yeah.
It's so people.
Like,
I don't think
I
realize
didn't
how
see
creepy
the folder.
they can
yeah,
be.
I
I
was
mean,
like,
it's
I
like-
thought you were gonna like murder me. Like, why?
Right. It reminded me
Yeah,
immediately of
I
that
know.
scene from Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah,
where
right,
the guy's
right.
just standing in the rain, looking in the window.
Yes,
Yeah.
It was so
Oh.
scary.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so she winds up, she signs it, and then like 4 other times we walk. I got to the point where the
Oh,
doorman
yeah.
was like, "There's another one over there."
Yeah, another
No,
guy.
like,
they would
Everybody
laugh their ass
Everybody
off
was
about it,
nice,
yeah.
but it was just
But
like
you never know, though.
Yeah, you
you
always
have
gotta
to be careful. They
gotta be on
figured
your
that out
guard.
from
Right,
my hotel room,
right.
and I'm telling
I
you.
mean, like she wasn't at a window. We weren't near a street. It was the inside of the fucking hotel room. This
Yeah.
guy knew what blue room was
Right.
in
I
Madrid.
mean, if you see a catcher in the rye stuffed in their back pocket, you better run. But,
right.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you guys travel like more than anyone that I've ever met in my life, aren't you like? That's actually a great point. Do you actually, because you are kind of in a way announcing to the public where you are. I see you guys tag a lot of stuff, and even if you do it unintentionally, you know, there's the Eiffel Tower in the background, something like that. Are you worried that like something could come of that?
After what happened with that, the guy, like, thank God, like, was cool, but I take photos and videos, but I don't post until after I leave.
Smart.
Yeah, we do
a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, I give it a delay.
We'll say where we're going generally, like we're going to France or something like that, but we tend not to be really specific. And I'll say this. 99.9% of the time, the fans are great.
Oh yeah,
they come
even
up,
the weirdo guy standing in the rain,
he was actually really just a nice guy who was like wanted to meet the, you know, it was like, oh my, it was kind of like one of those situations where, like, I mean, we were in, I'll never forget this. We were in Edinburgh. And we're walking around the corner, and these two German guys, squealed.
They were like
they saw David Hasselhoff or something. I mean, it was like, dude, the monster.
Germans.
I mean, I kind of like that. I would like that.
It was kind
no,
of.
they
and
sounded
they
like little
so
like
nice.
Fräulein.
They were
So
like,
like,
oh,
Danny Daniels, and I fucking lost my shit.
And we were laughing around, and they were like looking at me like, yeah, come on over, I'll take a photo with you guys.
Yeah,
I
never
oh my
care.
God,
what if you're like Elvis over in Germany?
I mean,
like
I don't know. I've been to Germany. Like, I have fans everywhere, and I'm like thankful for everyone. And, like, I never care if you come up to me. It just like
be cool.
It just blew my mind that in 15 minutes this guy figured out where I was staying in Madrid.
Yeah,
right.
Like that.
I mean,
fucking...
that regardless of his intentions, that is you know, unless he maybe he worked at the hotel or something and like he knew
maybe he like someone called. I didn't think about that. Maybe someone worked there was like, dude, get down here right now. You never know.
The girl of your dreams is out. You know, is in room 406.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't have anything like that. I had a story that happened 2 weeks ago, and this was really scary. So, there was a guy. This actually came off of the What Is New York account, which I was actually surprised because that's, you know, significantly smaller than the Subway Creatures. But
and it's still what, like 300,
and
400K?
it's still it's just
significantly
around there.
smaller.
But
it is so What Is New York?
Well,
oh
but
my God.
it's But, you know, this guy, all right, so here's what happened. This guy sends me a thing, and I had posted a video. It was someone driving around Times Square with a huge sign on top of their car with a picture of a girl or a woman, and he said, you know, he had her name and said, this woman cheated on me, she's a whore.
Oh, I remember seeing that.
And he was driving around New York City just like blasting his horn, like announcing.
That's awesome.
Like, all right, so I was like, this is fucking hilarious. So
That's
I posted
very New York.
This is great. So then, you know, a couple months go by, and then I start getting these really weird messages saying, hey, you know, this woman said that she would marry me if I get this video taken down off of your page. And I was like, well, you know, and part of what I do, like, if someone's in a vulnerable position, I will take content down. You don't want to, like, you know, you're not out to get people.
Yeah, you're not here to fuck with people. You're
if
making it funny.
If this woman reached out to me and said, hey, you know, that's me on that sign, take this down, you know, please, you know, whatever, I would take it down. But this guy who's just saying she said she'll marry me if you take it down, I'm like, no, fuck you, dude. I don't even know who you are. So I just ignore his messages. So then he starts sending me videos. And he went on the internet and found an address to what he thought was my old podcast studio.
Oh, wow.
And he went to the address and found out, thank God, it's just a P.O. box.
Yeah.
So there was nothing there. But he said in the video, I found the address, blah, blah, blah. I went, it was a P.O. box. I actually looked the address up because I was like, what address does he have?
Yeah.
And it wound up being, you know, the podcast P.O. box. But the fact that he went down to an address that he found online, I was like, okay, we're taking the video down now.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, we're going to take it down. You know,
because safety is safety.
Yeah, safety. I live with my cousin right now, and I told him, I'm like, you know, when you go for work in the morning, you know, can you just say it? Just give me a shout if anyone's like standing out front of our building.
Yeah.
I don't. My information's not out there.
With a big overcoat
how
in
would
the
they know
warm
what
weather.
you look like? But then, your podcast, because you don't show your face on Subway Creatures.
No,
so I'm like,
and
how would this guy know?
Exactly, and that's, you know, that's kind of intentional for reasons just like this. You know,
but now you're about to.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I've been out
fucked.
there. I've been out there, you know, and I've had a lot of people recently talk to me about, you know,
It'd be
branding.
funny. We can gray out your face and Adam, we make it, you're
a
like
big blur.
like those.
Can you
like
change
the,
my voice?
Yeah,
too?
do your
Yeah,
voice
yeah,
like
yeah.
The witness relocation voice. Oh, I'm gonna go down to the store now.
Oh
It's all
my
good.
god!
Yeah.
But make it glitchy,
Yeah,
so
like
there's a little randomly.
And just every once in a while, your face is up there. They're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people out there that, I probably have, not nice things to say about me or,
I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah, I can see why. Like, my personal favorite time of year is SantaCon, because then I get to see the What is New York videos
yeah,
of SantaCon.
the brawls in the
my
street.
top,
Brawls in the
one of
street.
my absolute favorites is the one, not this last SantaCon, but the one before.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking
Of
about.
the SantaCon.
And it turned into like a
fucking
10-man brawl.
Oh my
God!
god!
Yeah, Santa just
yes.
kicking the shit out of Santa. It was
Yes.
every
And then
8-year-old's
cars kept
nightmare.
driving
The
by.
cars kept
Oh, yeah, they don't
driving
give a
by.
fuck, yeah.
That was a great one.
You know,
Oh.
that's the New York thing of all time. Not getting involved.
Right,
Just
right.
keep going.
Well, because there's a lot of news sources that follow me as well.
Mhm.
So here's a prime example of things that so the other day I posted one of 3 guys getting onto the train on motorcycles,
Mhm.
Oh, I
on
saw that.
motorbikes. So listen what happened. So someone sent me that video December 11th. This is, 2 months ago.
Mhm.
It kind of got lost in the mix. I had
Yeah.
a lot of content, so I found it again. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about this one. I got to get this out there. New York State launched an investigation after I posted that, trying to find the 3 guys because the media made such a big stink about it. That now they're like, oh, we're going to do an investigation and try and find. So now these
Holy
3 guys
shit.
got put on blast. Their pictures got put out there. They're like, if anyone knows who these guys are, we
Wow.
want to go talk to them.
Jesus.
And I'm sitting there like, oh shit, that came off of my account. Like my intention was not to put these guys on blast
What's the crime other than being an asshole
Yeah,
and
that's what I
riding
was
a
gonna say. I'm
bike
like,
on
are
it?
you allowed to
they
do that?
probably just want to make an example of them, or at least make the media
mean,
feel like they're doing something.
I think the other subway people should make an example of them by kicking their ass for bringing bikes on a subway, but I don't think it's a crime. I
No,
mean,
I
what the hell's
know.
the crime?
Well, you saw Street Justice last month with the guy who pulled the girl off the train.
Dude, that was awesome.
So for people who don't know,
explain. Yeah,
for
yeah.
people
that
who
was-
don't know, there was a very wild video
Yeah.
of a guy. And it was a little weird that this guy was being filmed before it happened,
Mhm.
which I always think about.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, why is this person
Like, why
being
is
filmed?
it just random?
Unless the argument was going on.
Exactly,
and
and
the
that might have been
then
what
caught
happened.
him.
So there's a girl sleeping on the train with some other person next to her, and there's a guy staring at her sitting across the way. And the train gets to the station, the doors open up, and this guy runs over, picks the girl up out of her seat, and pulls her off the train. Now the person sitting next to the girl got up. They, kind of jumped out of their seat to see what the hell was going on because both these people were sleeping. They didn't know
Yeah.
what the hell was going on. The guy goes to the platform chairs, those benches,
Mhm.
and sits down with the girl, holding her. And, then lets her go, and the girl gets back onto the train.
Yeah.
Now, all of this is caught on tape. So
Did the guy see himself being filmed and then just
it was either that or he realized this girl was fighting back and I'm not going to be able to,
maybe
too many
he thought
people
she was
saw.
drunk
or
maybe
something?
too many people
Yeah.
saw. So he stays, the doors closed, the girl gets back on the
Jesus
train,
Christ.
and that's it. So then, this video starts going viral.
Yeah.
I wound up posting it just because I was like, hey, we got to kind of be on the
I
lookout
do,
for this guy.
I
If
do
he's
love when you do that for the
It-
record.
I
Like
don't-
it's
you know,
really
it's
the
good.
power of people
It's
following.
good and bad
Yeah,
because I get a lot of stuff like that, and it's this guy was staring at me because it's a lot of he said she said stuff,
It's
and
true.
the worst thing you can do is put someone's face on blast who
But
didn't
better,
do anything.
in my opinion, better to post it, chance it, than not post it, and God
Well,
forbid
in
she
that
ends
kind of-
up dead in the
Yeah,
street.
in
or
that
s-
kind of
or,
situation where they grab the
Right.
girl. If it's just somebody sitting across and they don't like the way you look, fuck you. You know
Well,
what I mean?
see,
Welcome to
that's
America.
that's the difference.
yeah,
is
that's
that
what you have to gauge.
this video, we saw this whole thing transpire. It's not like we watched this guy sit there,
Mhm.
eye this girl down, pick her up and pull her off the train. Now, at that point, regardless of what his story is,
Mhm.
you can't just pick someone else
Yeah, that you
up
don't.
off the train and pull them off. So we had all the proof was right there. So I was
Mhm.
like, this is a different case. We have to get this guy's face out there. What wound up happening was the streets took over and they found this guy before the authorities did.
That's
And
fucking
they
awesome.
beat the fuck out of him.
Oh my god!
And they videoed the whole thing.
I didn't know that.
and the jury said not guilty. No,
oh
not.
my god!
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And again, two wrongs don't make a right. But it was
That's
kind
the
of like
New
you're
York
like,
thing.
yeah, it's the most New York thing I think I've ever seen since
pretty.
living here in the past 10 years.
And that's why they actually made falling asleep on the subways illegal.
Yeah, because of that.
Because of that. Because that's what they
Or
say.
you're
It's
gonna
a
get
safety
robbed,
concern,
or you're
cell phones getting stolen,
Did you
people
post
getting
the
grabbed.
video of the guys lifting the car off the woman? Was that you?
No, I didn't, but I know
Do you know
exactly
what
what
I'm
you're talking about.
Another
Yeah.
like awesome thing about New York. Like I guess she got stuck under this. A woman got stuck under a car. I don't know what happened, but like a bunch of New Yorkers went over, picked the car up, pulled
she
her
was still
out.
under it.
Yeah, and then they just all went about their day.
And everyone went back about their day. You
Well,
know, there was something very similar, not as extreme, but I had a video that I posted a while back of a woman getting onto the train with her luggage, and the luggage wheel gets stuck in between the train and the platform, and she's trying to pull it out and she can't. So everyone on the train gets off on that car and they push the train to make it lean one way.
Yeah.
And she pulls the wheel out and gets on and everyone starts cheering.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is such a New York moment. This is so good when people come together. And I forget who said it, but someone was like, man, those motherfuckers just wanted to get home.
Absolutely.
They didn't care about that woman's
Absolutely.
luggage.
Yeah.
They just knew that
Absolutely.
train wasn't
delay
leaving.
the fucking
Absolutely.
train.
That train wasn't leaving until that luggage came out of there.
Do not fucking inconvenience me. The subway system inconveniences me enough.
It's so true, though.
What do I have to do to make sure that
Yeah.
okay, push the fucking train?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they were thinking.
I get videos
Absolutely.
all the time of people, getting into fights on the train, and then you have the people who break them up. And they break them up because they go, I need to get home.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you
got
guys
shit to do.
go on the platform if you want to fight.
Kick the shit out of each
Yeah.
other there. Leave us alone.
It's such a New York thing.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But there's a lot of stuff like that. And it's like you said, it's really good regardless of the intentions.
Yeah, I don't think like maybe they probably shouldn't have beaten the shit out of the guy because what if
Yeah.
it's a different story? There's always the chance,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
do love the idea.
Well, how about
that
the fact that they
people-
found him?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I was gonna say.
Well,
Like
that's
the fact
the
that people
scary
like
part.
as a whole, I love that.
yeah, it's like they were able to identify this guy.
I mean, how many people are in New York? 9 million or something? Like,
Yeah.
8 point something.
yeah, I think it's 8. It's like a little over 8.
5, 8, 6.
But yeah, I say that all the
that's
time.
guy!
I say that all the time, like out of how many people who are here, running into, obviously I know I'll never run into you guys in the subway because we've already had that conversation.
Well, you run
Yeah,
into me.
For those listening, I don't take the subway.
I have my Metro card.
there
Just
you
in
go.
case it's
There
right
you go.
So,
Yeah, you got it right there. So I know you don't, though.
No.
You walk everywhere.
will. I
I don't
walk
think she even knows what a
everywhere.
Metro card looks like.
No.
Looks like that.
Yeah, no. I won't. I'm crowdphobic. I'm germophobic.
And
There's
don't,
just
and
too
especially
many
with
factors.
Corona going around now, like it's
no.
even more reason.
Oh,
you
no.
you see,
The only time she was in the subway was take pictures.
Yeah.
we talked about that.
Yeah,
That's
she
right.
took
You
pictures
did a
in the
shoot
subway.
down in the
Yeah,
subway.
and I was super confused.
That's
Yeah.
so bad.
Though she did do because I think you actually posted the video. She did do the video with our
With
friend
Derek.
John Lester.
Or
With
is it
John
John?
Lester.
Yeah.
where they were playing. What do you do?
again,
What do you
yeah.
do when you have an empty subway car? They played hockey. They
Yeah.
got married. There's like a whole bunch of.
That was a
crazy
good
shit.
video. Yeah.
But like in real life, no, I don't take
Yeah.
the subway.
What actually?
And then you're really the reason why I don't, because I'm like now I'm definitely not. I'm like going through the feed.
I might be the reason a lot of people don't anymore, but actually that was a good. That was a question I was going to ask you guys. When did you have to go to the subway to not find anyone on it like that?
If you go to the end of the lines, like the end of the L trains and stuff like that, and you go there a little bit later at night, there are chunks of times when there are cars that don't have people in it. At
Gotcha.
the end of the line.
I didn't know if you did that like
we-
early in the morning or
Oh,
something.
No,
no.
it was late at night. I
I'm
think it might have
lazy.
been the E train way. I think it might have been the E train way downtown we were, and it was just like one of those subway stops where the train comes in and it just
Yeah.
sits there for a little while, and you can get
Yeah,
a
we had
couple
like
of cars.
6 minutes or something.
Yeah, you
so
had a
you would
couple
like
minutes.
shoot a bunch of shit and then jump off.
And
Because
then
you know
wait for
they
the
always,
next car to come
they always
through.
say, you stay away from the empty cars.
Oh, you
there's
always
a
stay away
reason
from
those
them.
cars are empty.
Always stay away from the empty
Yeah.
cars. Yeah, they're like subway rules. There have
Which-
always been.
Unspoken, yeah.
Why did you start the account?
I started the account. It was like 8 years ago. Mainly because I was doing the commute, commuting from New Jersey, and I was seeing all of this crazy shit. I guess me and Vic see every day.
Yeah.
And I was sending videos to my parents and my friends and all these, everyone. And then it got to the point where I'm like, instead of doing this, let me just make a website and I'll put everything on the website. And anyone who actually, instead of annoying people,
Yeah.
they can go to the website and,
Yeah.
whoa, what did Rick see?
That's a
today?
good idea.
So I started it that way, and then I put it all on Instagram when Instagram came along, and it really started to snowball. and that was when the media's kind of picked up on it.
Yeah.
And as soon as that happens, it's just it really took off. And then all of a sudden you start finding other ways to use the content. I do a bunch of like themed posts now where it's like celebrities on the train.
Yeah, those are the ones that
I
I
love
like.
the ones with like ads that look like people
Yeah,
riding the
people-
So
train.
that's another one.
My favorite.
So that's another
So
one.
good.
People who look like, I
They're
think I
sitting
call
under
it,
their own
has
ad or
anyone
something.
ever told you that you look like ...
Yeah.
And you get some really good ones.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, is that? There's a couple times that, people will send me content and I go, is that
Is
that
that
the
guy
person?
in the ad?
Yeah.
Is that,
Like
Steve
Dr.
Carell?
Sizemore? Or,
Yeah. You're always like, I don't know. But, there's a lot of, and that's what's kind of been fun with it. And not only that, but people love getting involved now because,
If they see something,
you
yeah.
give shout outs and they want to be a part of it.
Yep.
And so, there's another one where it's like people reading books on the train that have funny titles,
Yes.
and it's like this stuff is, some people now,
So you can't make this shit up.
some people
No.
think it's staged.
Yeah.
Some
I'm
people are
guilty-
like,
I'm
Truth
guilty
is
of
stranger
it.
than
it's
fiction.
it's not exactly, especially
Truth
in
is
New
stranger
York
than
in the
fiction.
subway.
Absolutely.
So it's
New York anywhere.
well,
That's
that's
what I was
true.
gonna say. I'm guilty of it. If we're walking around New York,
Yeah.
I'll tag what is
Danny,
New York
Danny,
all the
you,
time.
you send me tons of content,
yeah.
and it's always like post-worthy.
Well, and
this
usually
shit.
it's around Union Square.
I mean,
like
Union Square is
my
like
favorite place in
Yeah.
New York City.
it's
that and Washington
honestly-
Square. Pick which one, everyone.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another spot,
Union
especially
Square-
when the weather starts getting
Oh,
nice
it's
and
so
everyone goes
awesome.
out there.
I literally have a photo of a woman sitting there in a business pantsuit playing the accordion wearing a full unicorn mask.
Yeah.
Just sitting in the middle, that not staged, just sitting there playing
Yeah.
for there's the
Living the
guy in
best
there.
life.
I mean, there's just like there's
And
always
that's
the
the
Hare
thing is that
Krishnas singing. It's,
yeah,
it's
and that's the
insane.
thing is that a lot of people think that this stuff's either staged or
No.
or a big thing is people are like, oh, they all have mental illnesses, and I'm like, no, and maybe you guys pick up on this or agree, but like. They're New Yorkers.
They're
There's
New Yorkers.
not a mental illness.
No.
There's
Well,
maybe
not always. Not always.
maybe we are all mentally ill because we
People-
live in New York.
I don't
but
think people understand that like truly New Yorkers do not give a shit.
No.
That's exactly
Like,
what it is.
and if they want to carry their fucking 8-foot python on the goddamn subway, they will.
Just don't
And
try-
they don't
just-
care.
don't cause the subway to slow
Yeah.
down.
exactly.
If your python causes a problem, then we're going to have a problem.
But
Otherwise,
if the
I'm gonna
difference
fly.
is like putting my couch in an Uber and paying $80 or putting it on a subway, they will put it on a
You,
subway.
you had a
my-
guy who carried like
Like-
an I-beam onto the subway.
was an
It
I-beam.
It was like a fucking metal I-beam.
And
I'm
that
like,
was another instance where people were helping him get on
Yeah.
the
'Cause
train
they wanted the
because
train to
they
move.
wanted the train to move, and he was blocking the doors. But this thing was like a 20-foot I-beam. It
Yeah, it
took
was
up
like-
the entire length of the
it had
car.
to be like a ton of fucking weight. It was like
What are you
hysterical.
gonna
yeah.
do with that?
I don't-
What is this guy doing with that?
But that was a great example of another thing. This kind of again time we live in
Mhm.
that happened because when I posted that video, it was basically in real time. So what happened was someone sent me another video saying, "Hey, by the way, I just saw him transferring trains."
Transfer.
And they
He did
sent me a video.
transfer.
So then they sent me a video. So then I posted that, and all of a sudden everyone's like you remember
Is he going to transfer to a bus next?
Yeah.
like you remember Balloon Boy?
Yeah,
when
yeah.
when everyone stopped what they were doing that day to watch this kid that they thought was in this balloon.
Yes.
Everyone was like, "We got to find out where
Where's
the
the
I-beam's
I-beam
going.
guy?"
Where's the I-beam going? We got to know."
And
And
we
like
only
I
had
was
an
like,
I train. That
I
would've
was
been
like,
great.
everyone's got to keep sending me videos. We got to know where this guy goes.
Yeah.
So I think he was going to New Lots all the way out there, but because the last time he was seen,
He was scrapping the
Yeah.
metal.
no, that's actually I think what he was doing.
It was funny. We had Dave Thomas Brown on, and he was talking about when he does shows on Broadway that like the audience as a whole comes together as like kind of this like collective family because you're seeing something live, you're in it together, and I feel like your account is very similar
Yeah.
because everyone's like, I want to contribute, I want to
Yeah.
help, I want to, and
Yeah.
it's
And I
it's
mean,
got
there-
it's a shit show of content in a good
Yeah.
way, but
Yeah.
as a whole, I think it has such a good vibe.
And that's what I try to emphasize to people is that we're celebrating
Mhm.
like the fucked up things that go on in New York, and it doesn't necessarily have to be fucked up. It's just
Yeah.
how different,
It's
how
hysterical.
beautiful it is,
Or just the
how
fucked
funny
up,
it
like
is.
like if I see things on there, like especially for What Is New York, and I'm like, I see the same shit. I'm glad it's not just me.
Exactly.
But it's
And it's relatable. It's relatable.
It's absolutely, and the Subway Creatures is obviously worldwide because there's
Right.
subways
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
And what is New York is New York. But I mean, we live in, we travel, like you said, we travel a lot. we live in the most diverse place I've ever been to. I mean, you know, Rome is great. Paris
I feel like
is great.
that's
London
big
is,
coming from you.
Yeah, London is
Like,
great.
yeah.
London is great. London's got a lot of diversity. London's kind of like New York with a better accent.
Right.
But their subway's a little too clean.
You don't
Yeah.
like it. He's like, it's too small.
It's too small and it's too clean, and there aren't.
They call it the
they're
underground
very-
over
yeah,
there, right?
the underground. It was the New
tube.
York subway system. People from the New York subway system went to London and literally taught them how to build a subway. It's
really?
patterned off the New York system.
Okay.
They've actually kept it
will-
up.
I will take the tube.
She'll take the tube because
Oh,
you know,
I
you'll take the
will.
tube?
because
Yeah.
everybody in the tube is very proper. and
Everybody's
British, and
polite.
they're
It's very
polite.
clean.
Yeah, there's
like,
nobody-
you
I'm
know,
pretty sure that they have
no one-
fabric seats.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
do
sit
have
down.
Yeah,
I
she doesn't
stand
sit
up and I
down.
hold on to Vic.
Yeah, she won't. I have to hold on to the bow, you know. But New York is like massively diverse. I saw some stats like a third of the people who live in New York weren't born in America.
I mean,
Every language in the world is
believe
spoken
that,
here.
yeah.
Every single language in the world is spoken here. Every form of cuisine is offered here.
Yeah.
You are
Oh,
not.
That's what I
thing
love
the
about it.
I don't care
cultures.
where
That's
you.
what I love
yeah,
about
I don't
it.
care
mean-
where you live. There is no homogenized portion in New
I
York. There's
don't-
no all white, all black, all anything. Everybody lives with
Right.
everybody,
Right.
and that's probably why we don't give a fuck about anything,
Right.
and nothing phases us because we've seen it all.
What,
Like,
cul-
whatever.
We're
what
so-
culture is Dorito licking girl?
Dorito licking.
Oh,
girl?
you remember her?
She was one of my favorites.
That was-
she
I ha-
had 2 bags of
She's-
Doritos, and she would take one out and then lick it, and then put it in the other bag.
So that was
She's,
that was one
she's-
video I had
she's
to take
the New
down.
York-
oh shit, really?
Yeah. So her family reached out to me, and it turns
Aw.
out she has a severe eating disorder.
Oh, poor girl.
And they
That
were
makes
like,
me
she
sad.
is suicidal. Like, please. And I was like, okay, that's
Yeah.
an instant.
didn't
I was
know
like,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
okay, that's
I
fine.
just was like, dude, you
No,
cracked the code.
But so many people love that video, and it
love
wasn't about
that.
her having an eating disorder. It was
No.
about what she was doing. You know, because I've seen people who don't have an eating disorder eat that before.
I would
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
dude, literally,
Yeah, it's
like
like-
no
it's like-
carbs.
yeah.
I'm in.
But that's a great example. Yeah, of
That
like
is my
No
favorite.
carbs, all flavor.
And the one your caption was, these 2 videos seem like they would go great together. And one is like a bunch of strippers getting on a car, and the next one is a woman like disinfecting
Every
Yes.
inch of the corner.
yes, I was a little worried about that one as well
it's
because
great.
there are some OCD people sometimes that get
I'm
on.
OCD and I'm
and
also
they-
a sex worker, and I'm okay with that post.
That is a
Fight
wild
me.
combination.
It's a wild combination.
It
of that.
is. That is so funny.
Yeah.
God.
But you know, I that's why I love New York though for
Yeah.
those reasons that
Yeah.
we just talked about.
You also have to learn to laugh at things.
You do, and you know what? You also have to think like you're going to offend someone, no
Yeah.
matter what
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah.
So you know what? There's nothing I could post that I'm not going to. You know, everyone's safe.
Mhm.
So you just got to kind of like deal with it and say, all right, you know, what's the worst that's going to come of this one?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's usually not that bad.
Yeah, it's
I love
exactly.
it. I love it. So go follow him, by the
Yeah,
way.
go
We haven't
follow
even
him.
Subway,
like plugged
Subway
it.
Creatures and What is New York.
Yep.
If you're not from New York, you should be following What is New York because it's gonna.
It's
It's
getting
fun.
it's getting bigger, and I think people are
fun.
starting to catch on to it. Vic, question for you.
Yeah.
Because I've been staring at it. Where did the title from your book, "Wait for the Corn," come from?
You're gonna have to read the book.
I'll have to read the book, but you know there was a story that involved you guys that makes me think of that.
Oh no, what?
Might
And
be where
it-
the book came from.
It might be, so maybe you don't confirm because we don't have to confirm it.
Yeah,
But
but you will.
I came to your
Oh, yeah,
release
yeah, yeah,
party
yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
Alexis,
Yes,
Texas.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
you're,
what I'm.
You're warm.
That's what I'm
You're
thinking
getting
of.
warmer.
You're getting
yeah.
warmer, but
I'm
you're
thinking
gonna have to
of-
read the
Yeah.
book. You will get.
I
you will get your,
I look forward to this
your guest
because I
copy on the
also
way
as I follow you as well. You know, I see your life hacks every day.
out.
So I'm like, this guy somehow like gets more interesting. Like I just want to get inside that
this is
head.
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stage a Subway Creatures. I'm gonna have you reading that on the train, and I'll take a
we
picture.
actually we have a good friend of ours in the.
You guys
on
really
the,
should do that.
we have a good friend of ours who was on the Paris subway system reading the book, and people were like looking at her like,
you
"What
get
the
a
hell is she reading?" She's got a picture. She sent it to me of her on the Paris subway reading
Send
the
it
book.
over.
I'll send it. I'll-
Send it over.
Send it over. It's free
Andrea,
press.
Andrea, I'm throwing you under the bus here. You're gonna help me out.
Are you
Free
gonna do
press.
any other cities?
So that was the next thing. So I just actually did this this talk. I went to this media company and we did a kind of like a talk. It's like a creative side of things, and I had mentioned doing a What is Florida.
Oh, fuck.
And I feel like that's
Yes.
kind of a
Did you ever-
no-brainer.
Oh my
Did you ever do the
God.
Florida man thing?
Florida man.
If you type in a
Oh,
Florida man,
we did
and
that
your-
on our show.
Man.
Yeah,
That
Florida
was one
man
of
and
the
your
last-
birthdays.
That was
yeah.
one of the last episodes that we
Oh
did
my
for my
God.
podcast. We
Have
looked.
you done this, Adam?
We
Oh,
all
yeah.
we all looked up, what our birthdays would represent on a headline. Did you get anything?
Yeah,
good?
for those of you
Yeah, yeah.
listening, you look up, you put in your birthday, and then you add Florida man, and
You say
whatever.
a Florida man. Type a Florida man and your birthday,
Yeah.
and it'll say a Florida man was caught wrestling an alligator or something
Yeah.
fucking crazy. It's great.
It really is. You
Yeah.
get some, and honestly, I haven't seen any like ones that aren't good.
Yeah.
Like each one is
honestly
so
like
good.
it's funny because I have a cousin that lives in Florida. Well, he doesn't anymore, but he used to, and he. I won't say his name, but I love him. He found an alligator, a small alligator, and like I think he didn't want to have it get hit by a car, so he like pulls his truck over, grabs the alligator
By the tail.
somehow gets back into his truck, holds it out the window, drives home, and puts it in his bathtub for like multiple days.
Was the fucking alligator just dragging
I
on the
don't
road
even
outside
know.
the car?
No.
No, he held it.
Oh, he held it up.
He
Like,
drove
outside
down
the
the
window.
road with this alligator. Can you imagine passing by that?
In Florida,
like,
yes.
that is so
Exactly. A Florida man
Yeah.
drove down the highway with a baby alligator in his hand. Yeah, that would be the headline.
Right, so that feels like a direction to go, but I'm not from Florida, so I would obviously have to hire someone
Yeah.
to run that.
Yeah.
But then one of the first questions when we got to the Q&A part was, aren't you scared of
Oh no.
people falling into stereotypes and you're now listening? And I'm like,
Oh, God.
no. I'm
Yes.
like, going off of what you were saying, no, because you're going to offend people no matter what.
Yeah.
Florida people make fun of themselves. It's like, it is what it is. Like,
You
you
have
know,
to laugh. Like,
yeah.
watching the stripper OCD video. I am OCD, like to the max. I am also a sex worker. Did it offend me? No, because I can fucking laugh at myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Right.
lighten up.
I know. People need to do more of
Why
that.
do you feel like you would have to hire someone for it?
Not only because I'm
Culturally understanding Florida? or,
not even just culturally. That does play a huge
Yeah.
role. But it's also, I'm like New York, I can pinpoint things in videos and I can relate to them. Like,
Oh, okay.
like we know that Union Square is a hot spot. We know
Yeah,
that
right.
Washington Square is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
hot
yeah.
spot. Like, I also know if something's not in New York. You
Okay.
know, people do that a lot, believe it or not. They'll take a video in like Chicago and they'll send it to me and go, hey, post this. And I'm like, where is this? This does not look, and they make something up, and you're like, I know that street. That's not that street. And then
Yeah,
you find
yeah.
out that it's like Chicago, and people are trying to pass it off. So for the small reasons like that, that's not even a major reason, but more importantly, to kind of have the voice from
Yeah.
the
Right.
South. You
Right.
want to, like, I just feel
That
like
makes sense.
Yeah, you
being
wanna
a
go
New Yorker
authentic.
running a
Yeah,
page
yeah.
called What is Florida, like, it's kind of like, I don't know.
Now
I
you're
would-
kind of more poking fun than like
Yeah.
immersed. Yeah, I
Like,
get it. I get it.
It definitely, I'll get away with a lot more
Mhm.
having someone from Florida run that account.
So if anyone out there,
Yeah, I'll be hiring soon. It sounds
Yeah.
like.
just in case you were wondering, I have a
Please start
friend
it.
in Jacksonville, Florida. Chris, I
Oh
know
my
you're
God,
listening.
you
Chris, I
should.
know you're listening. Not only is he in Jacksonville, Florida, he's a truck driver.
Well, I
He
was.
sees
Oh,
some
yeah.
shit.
That was going to be my first
Adam-
guest, being
Yeah.
from Jacksonville. but-
Adam,
he is
he's
a-
the guy that went in the red shirt.
He was the red
Yeah,
so
orange shirt.
Chris, you're
Yeah.
listening. You're on
Yeah,
2
yeah.
podcasts
Yeah.
now, Chris. You're
So
gonna
he
we're
should
gonna
do
hook
it.
you up with Rick, and because if there was ever the guy that can see what is Florida, it's my friend Chris.
I mean, all he probably has to do is set a GoPro up in his
And, he's
dashboard.
and just
Yeah.
record the shit he sees
Yeah.
coming in and out of his house.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so you get the 10 questions. I get to ask you 10 questions. You
Oh,
gotta answer
boy.
them. You ready?
Oh boy,
Ready for
I don't know if I'm ready, but shoot.
We call these VIX 10.
And then you
Okay.
just go, well, it's weird now, but I'm gonna go inches. But for
Yeah.
you, I don't know.
You,
I don't
you
know.
flatter.
Oh shit.
Okay, you ready?
I don't know if you want to fix it.
What's the most annoying question people ask you?
It's definitely got to be Subway Creatures related, but it's got to be a curating content question. It's every time. How many submissions do you get a day?
Yeah.
Because I could just say it's a lot, and they're like, no, like, can you give us a number? And I'm just like, well, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
today.
It's a
Yeah.
lot. I don't count how many.
Yeah.
But that's actually a very popular question that I get a lot.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
What is your favorite way to eat a potato?
You gotta cut it up and deep fry it and throw some fucking ketchup on it.
Little fries.
So fries?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting at. What a
would,
nice question, though. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
what would the title of your autobiography be?
Oh, boy. In quotes, so that was Rick McGuire.
That's great.
Should also be on your tombstone. It's like, so that was Rick
Oh my
McGuire.
God, that's so good.
What was the biggest turning point in your life so far?
100% starting this account.
Yeah.
It was life-changing. For some people who don't know, I was able to quit my full-time job and do this full-time, which was amazing.
What did
That's
you?
awesome.
Can I ask what you did?
Yeah,
before?
I worked in television. I was a television producer.
Oh, okay.
So it
you
was fun.
kinda-
It still was fun, but those, obviously you guys probably know that, those hours are ridiculous
Yeah.
and the time you have to put in. So now being your own boss and not having to, go to the top, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. What are you most proud of?
This is my baby. I hate to sound redundant, but the account is my baby. I've
Yeah.
been working on this for 8 years. I've actually been offered to be bought out a couple times now.
Yeah.
Fairly large numbers, but nothing that I felt was worth selling out for. And again, this is my baby that I took from 0 followers to now just under 2 million.
That's awesome.
So it's
I think
like
you're over 2 million.
I might be. I don't know. I gotta double check.
You might be after this.
By the
Wait,
time this is
Wait,
over, I
how
might
the
be.
fuck did you get verified on TikTok? Because I'm big mad.
We're gonna talk about this
Big
after.
We'll talk about
mad.
this after
the
I
show, we'll
literally
talk
had
about this.
dick envy. I was telling Vic, I was like,
She was like, oh.
what the fuck?
We'll talk about that after the show. We'll
Okay.
see what we can do.
All right.
What do you? What takes up too much of your time?
Being on my phone in general. Not necessarily with the social media, just being on my phone in general. Way too much. I need to learn to disconnect more.
Yeah. So do we all.
Yeah.
What is your favorite smell?
All right. This is probably gonna sound bad.
I was like, oh, is it dirty? Let's do it.
Not dirty, but it's just like it's gasoline.
Oh, yeah.
that's
I'm
a- that's-
Oh, yeah.
obsessed
I
with
love-
this.
That's
but
not an abnormal.
I don't. It's not. Doesn't mean that I sit over gas tanks and huff. but
but if you could.
But when I stop at a gas station, I'm like, all right, it may be 0 degrees out, but we could put the windows
Yeah.
down for a second.
What gets you fired up?
People who try to be too PC really gets me going.
What does that mean?
Politically correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people who get
Obviously,
offended.
I'm fucking not.
People who get offended way too easily. Try to be, and then you go out to Brooklyn, probably a Williamsburg area.
Yeah, Williamsburg. Yeah. Yes.
I got thrown out of a bar for wearing a Cleveland Indians hat.
I'm going
Oh
there
my
with a Trump shirt.
God.
Because
Not even that I
Smart.
support him. I'm just
Yeah.
going with one for the
that
hell.
was a first for me, and
You're going
I
alone.
could not believe it. But
because of the Indian, not
because-
because you voted for Cleveland.
Right. It
You
didn't
should have
have-
been thrown out for rooting for Cleveland.
it
should have been-
it was all
I'm
because
surprised.
of the Indian on my hat. They threw me out.
They threw like fuck that. I would have thrown you out for rooting for
Oh,
Cleveland, man.
Jesus.
This is New York.
I thought
You're a
LA
Yankee
was
fan.
bad. That's yeah.
That's what they should have said.
Yeah, exactly. That's what should
It would have been
like,
a little more justified.
Yeah, this isn't fucking Major League, boy. Get out. That's what they should have said.
Oh, Vic, we're gonna fight after
Oh
this.
my God.
Wait, I'm gonna get my daughter in on this, and now you're in
Oh
deep shit.
no.
What do you wish you knew more about?
Oh, women, you guys with your
What do you
brain,
need to know?
your brain
What do you
games, your brain
Do
games.
not,
Oh.
do not ask my wife because she is not the normal woman.
This is what I said,
He's
but
a
this
smart
is what I
man.
meant. What? Do you understand what that means to a guy? This is what I said, but this is what I meant. And it's two complete opposite things.
I
was-
don't
I'm like,
know.
we-
I'm a
it's a
dude
di-
with tits, man.
Yeah,
I
that's-
can't.
If you're very straightforward,
I'm-
then you're wifey material.
That's
why I'm married.
Yeah.
That's why I married her.
Because
no, I agree because
I
it's like
love
even
that.
like girlfriends of mine, not everyone, but that play that game. It's like,
Yeah.
fucking.
And let's
And
be
look,
honest.
I'm bi, and I would joke with him. I was like, I don't know how the fuck you date women because like
You know.
I just want to bang
Right.
them because
Yeah.
otherwise
That's why we date
I get
women.
migraines.
Yeah.
But and then the other side of it is we are so fucking overly simplistic. We're
I-
like
Well,
we're like old school computers. We think in 16 colors.
Well, that's
You know,
the problem.
salmon's a fish,
Exactly.
cranberries are fruit.
We
it's
talked
not
about
a
this on another podcast episode, but I think at the end of the day, it's all about communication. Men communicating to women and women communicating to men because a guy won't communicate. I'm not saying that men are at fault, but example A, guy won't communicate where he's going. woman sits home and goes, oh, well, he's not telling me. Well, he must be doing something he shouldn't be doing. Well, he must be at a bar with his friends. He's probably talking to other women there. He's cheating on me. That's how we fucking think.
Yeah.
Do you ever see the meme of the couple laying in bed? And she's like,
Yes.
he's probably dreaming about cheating on me.
Yes.
And what he's dreaming about is like a cheeseburger.
Dude, that is literally us though. And like I have to like wind back my female brain and be like, okay, he texted me, he's here, he's really there. Like let it go and just communicate.
And then when they yell at you and go sleep on the couch, it's like for us it's camping. It's like
yeah.
okay, cool. It's like and I get to watch TV and eat food while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
And then the last question.
Fucking Vic.
What is the one question you would want everyone you meet to answer?
The one question.
So you meet somebody, you get to ask them a question, they have to answer it truthfully.
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh my God. Shit, I don't know. What is the best answer you've gotten for this before?
Oh, we've gotten. You wouldn't believe the crazy answers we've gotten on this one.
I think that everyone should wear their genitals on a pin on their shirt.
I think you might have said that on my show.
Yes.
Because that sounds
I am a firm
really...
believer in this. And somehow have like a film so like children can't see it.
She said.
Now, what's the point
but like
behind
everyone,
that, you can tell a lot
because you can tell a lot by how someone's genitals look. You really fucking can. I'm a firm believer.
Okay.
And I'm looking for a partner like as a match. I want to make sure their fucking pussy or dick matches what I want. Because like, what if you go on a date with a dude or a girl and you're like, this person's awesome, and then you go home and you're like, your dick is not gonna work. Like that's either A, too big, too small, has a weird curve. Like go find a girl with a curve like that, you know?
Yeah.
And then I feel like you like break that barrier.
And then I was a lot more serious. My answer was I want to know how religious you are. Because the more religious you are, the less likely it is I want to talk to you.
Obviously our priority.
I was kind of going that way because I was going to say, how do you feel about Trump? And it's not which way. It's not whether it's...
Oh, it's whether they go psychopathic about it.
It's about how you respond to that question. Because I could give two fucking shits about politics.
Yeah.
So I really don't care.
I'm the same.
But I feel like that name has now become a trigger name for people.
That's actually a good way to approach it too, because I mean
it's not like
it's not a big secret. I tend to lean towards the Republican side. I'm not a Trump supporter.
Right.
I tend to lean towards the Republican side, but there is something to be said about way extreme acceptance
that's
or hatred, like that gang mentality of I'm a Crips, I'm on this side, you're on that side,
right.
Fuck you.
It's funny because like we talk about like what should we talk about on the podcast, and I always say like let's try not to talk about. I'm not saying that like trying to say it to you, but I'm saying like let's try not to talk politics because somebody's getting their fucking feelings hurt.
Exactly.
You know what the other thing is,
it's just like
I watched that.
That's
happen
a really good question.
Exactly because you're staying in the middle, and it's just. I'm just observing.
You just throw it to the wind. You're like, go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to see how apoplectic or how happy they are.
To your point, I feel like, even someone that far to the right.
Yeah.
Or that far to the left.
Or that far to the left they're almost the same in a way.
Well, it does. It's not a line. It's a circle. They come. You gotten to the point where intolerance on both extremes
you come right back to the same
are
point.
extreme.
Yeah.
Are extreme. It's like you have one side that's like authoritarian lunatics, and then you have the other side that's getting offended by everything and becoming authoritarian lunatics by telling you you're not allowed to do any. The one thing I've learned about human nature, and I'm sure you will agree with me, if you tell somebody they can't do something, they want to do it so bad.
Oh my God.
If you tell somebody,
hasn't there been like a psychology about that for the longest time?
I don't care if they're for gay marriage. If you tell them you have to accept gay marriage, they're going to be against it, even if they're for it.
That's one of the first things they teach you in rhetoric.
Yeah.
It's like,
this stupid game I'm playing. I'm like, I'm not allowed to play this game. And then I'm like, all I want to do is stay up until 3 a.m. and play this stupid game on my phone. I have no self-control.
I mean, it'll be like 2 o'clock in the morning, so I'm like, oh, geez, should we get a pizza? No, we shouldn't get it. Now all I want is pizza. I got to have a pizza. Now where's the pizza? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm in New York. I can get a fucking pizza.
I know. That was actually one of the things with my ex-girlfriend that she would come home and be like, oh my God, I have the funniest story to tell you. And then I wouldn't say anything. She goes, all right, now I'm not going to tell you. I'd be like, okay. But it would drive her nuts.
Yeah.
She would be like, well, no, don't you want to know? And I'm like, no, it's okay.
Lady games.
So it's almost flipping the script,
There's like a meme that's like, I'm bored today. I'm going to go terrorize my boyfriends.
Well, I feel like your TikTok and your social media is a lot like your actual relationship.
Yeah, I get
where
tortured
it's just
a lot,
Vic getting tortured by you.
That's our life.
Yeah,
that's
how I picture it.
I torture him in different ways.
It is, and obviously, don't care at all. But that is, we're looking at TikTok and we're like, oh, look, all of the ones I'm getting tortured have 400,000 likes. Okay, I'm getting this. I'm getting the interest in this. Okay.
You gotta take the brunt, man, because it's for content. Content first.
Yeah, man.
Content first.
I get to be married to her, so being tortured is a very minor.
This is payment.
Very minor.
It's very true. It's very true.
All right, now we're on to shameless plugs. Fire
Shameless
away.
plugs. You guys actually did a very good job of it a couple minutes ago, but follow the What is New York account as well as the Subway Creatures account. Keep an eye on that. And also something new that I started within the past year, the YouTube account for Subway Creatures. We're now doing these pop-up shows with like artists, like legit artists. We did one with Hosier. We just go down to the subway. It's like a stripped-down performance.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, we're trying to do more of those. You know, a lot of people don't, I don't want to say a lot, but there's definitely a bunch of people who don't like it because, you know, these people already
trying to get home.
enough publicity. Well, that too, but they're more mad that, like, you know, there's these buskers who are like busting their ass all day. And then these people who already kind of have a spotlight are getting a bigger one, but you know.
Yeah, but you have people that work in the
it's part of
subway
my
on your
job.
podcast
It's part of
all
my
the
job.
time.
Like,
yeah.
it's part of my
Do you
job
remember?
now.
Yeah,
Again,
I'm sure
you can't win.
You remember when U2 played in Grand Central Station that time?
Jimmy Fallon does it all the time.
Yeah.
Ooh, you could do a show where like
I walked past
you,
them. I was like, "Fuck, that's U2," and I just kept walking because
Yeah.
I'm in New York and I don't give a shit.
Right. I remember that one. So I'm starting to do things like that as well, and that's all going on YouTube. So, you know, there's already been we've done maybe like 10 of them already. So there's a nice little chunk of content up there that you can check out. And there's a whole bunch coming up actually in the next month or two
That's awesome.
that we have. So that's something to keep an eye out for as well.
You should
Sounds
do a
good.
show where like
Let's not
sorry.
talk about that
Just
yet.
kidding.
That's in the works. Let's not talk too much about that.
Just kidding.
We'll be beeping this out.
Adam, bleep that out.
Get out, Adam.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. Huh?
Great idea, though. Great
Awesome.
idea.
Awesome idea.
I love the
Maybe
idea.
someday. Follow me on TikTok. I'm fucking not verified yet, and I'm real bitter. It's Dani Daniels TikTok. I'm almost at 500K. And go to danny'sthings.com for like all the stuff. Thanks for watching my hoe videos. And follow my new Snapchat. It's sucking1D. Because it keeps getting deleted. So you should probably go follow because it's good enough to keep getting deleted.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The same old, guys. Wait for the corn. And hey, come on, follow me on Instagram at EvilGeniusVic. I mean, you know, I'm seriously behind my wife by like 3.175
You said that in
million.
like such a radio voice.
I know. I was
Hey,
trying
come on,
to,
guys.
I was
Sounded legit.
trying to do my, you know, hey, welcome to the
This
Nut
is
Hut.
Casey
You
Kasem.
know, This is Casey Kasem welcoming.
If you want more
Rick to the
photos
Nut
of
Hut.
me, go follow Vic's Instagram.
Usually there's pictures of my wife's butt because I'm not stupid. Thank you guys, and we'll
Thank you
see
for
you
coming
soon.
on.
Thank you, Rick.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
We'll
It's
talk
been
to-
great, guys.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.